And for more, let's cross to our Kyiv correspondent Gulliver Cragg, who's standing by in Zaporizhzhia. So, Gulliver, let's start with these attacks in the south. What's the latest?
Well, I mean, we saw in the report Mykolaiv and Odesa both saw hits on the city centre. There are wounded and I believe one dead in Odesa and one dead in Mykolaiv. In Odesa, it was the 21-year-old security guard of an administrative building, that's how it's being described, that was hit in the city centre. There have also been attempts over the past 3 days to hit the port infrastructure in both of those cities. Yuri Ignat, spokesman for the Ukrainian Air Force, said that hypersonic missiles were used, X-22 in particular, which are extremely difficult for the Ukrainians to shoot down. Basically, they can only shoot them down with the US-supplied Patriot missile battery systems. I guess they didn't have them covering those cities there. There's much talk now in Ukraine of deploying better, more sophisticated surface-to-air missiles to those southern cities as soon as possible. Meanwhile, Ukraine has also responded to that declaration by the Russian Defense Ministry, saying that they would regard any ship traveling to Ukrainian ports as potentially carrying weapons, which means basically a threat to destroy those ships, by making exactly the same threat of its own, using almost exactly the same language. The Ukrainians have said that any ship traveling in the Black Sea to Russian ports or to Ukrainian ports currently occupied by Russian forces will be considered as potentially carrying weapons and therefore as a legitimate military target. And the communique also carries a reminder that Ukraine did sink the flagship of Russia's Black Sea fleet, the Moskva, in late spring 2022. Therefore, it has the capacity to sink Russian ships.
Okay, we'll have to leave it there. Our Kyiv correspondent Gulliver Cragg reporting from Zaporizhzhia. Gulliver, thanks as always.